Hello everybody, I'm Anthony, Moonwalkers Living in the Yellow Submarine. Today I will be doing a track-by-track ranking to worst to best. For me in this album, and this is by a band that from the early 2000s, my parents had this album for years and I still have this album to this very day. My parents gave it to me because of how much I love not only the metal music, but love this band. And that band is Evanescence, and the album is Fallen album. I really love this album. This is an album that came out in March 4th, 2003. And crazy thing is, if you probably don't know this, but this album came out 3 weeks before another awesome album that I really love from a band that I like and don't love, and it's Linkin Park's Meteora album. This is the album that came out in March 25th, 2003. And I kind of want to say this, that it kind of came, this album, Evidence's Falling album, in my opinion, kind of came out at the wrong time, because if this album came out, well, I mean, because this was 3 weeks before, but if this album came out in February, that could have been a better timing. I mean, this album could have been a big hit. It could have been on, yeah, this album was on number ones on the charts, and for the album, I meant. This is, for me, this is going to be the ranking to least favorite to favorite. For me, there's no bad songs on this album. Although, I know you're going to be asking, are you going to review or do track by tracks ranking of their later catalogs? And I'm not going to be doing that because I tried listening to their songs from their second album, their third album, and because the last album, that last album they made so far was is a remix album, and I've talked about how much I don't like remix albums, especially because of how one thing I had to give them credit. They did have some songs that they only had, I believe, 2 songs on that album that they're new, and I feel like, in my opinion, that remix album was kind of pointless. I mean, like I said, all band members or an artist should have a remix album. It may not do as well as the previous albums. At least you did something. But yeah, I tried giving a listen for their newer song, or their songs from their newer albums after this album, and to be honest with you, I didn't like those songs as much as this album. And I guess it's because I grew up with this album a little more than their newer ones. Their newer ones, I didn't really grow up with their newer ones. I guess it's because of growing up at the time, especially because you're moving away from certain bands and certain singers at the time that you grew up with, especially because of how much you didn't really like or care much for them. But I mean, don't get me wrong, I would say I like, I should say I like Evidences, because their new ones are not my favorites, but I would say I like Evidences. I don't love them by any means, but to be fair, I much rather listen to their newer songs more than the Linkin Park's newer albums, in my opinion. But yeah, this is going to be ranking track by track, least favorite to favorite, or like I said, or worst to best. And like I say, there's no bad songs on this album. All the tracks, I really love them. So far, there's only 11 tracks on this album, and one is actually a hidden track. I'll explain it right now. That the hidden track is the same song from in the album tracks that they put, because the 4th track is My Immortal, but they released the same song, My Immortal, as a hidden track. But for number 12 track as a hidden track, it's basically a band version, which I prefer that more than the song on the album. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, the song, the My Immortal, the one with the piano, it's not that bad. I actually honestly liked it. I prefer the band version a lot more, especially because it gives you more energy. Especially at the end, almost at the end, it gives you more energy of what's going to happen. But yeah, and this album did really well in the charts when it first came out, and especially hit songs, especially everybody knows one of the songs from this album. But yeah, so I just listened to this album, just listened to it, and I made my final decision for the album. So, without further ado, let's do it. Let's rank the album. So, my least favorite song on this album my least favorite song so far is Imaginary. Now, okay, hear me out on this one. This is not my favorite song on this album. It's quite slow. I know this was a continuation from the previous tracks. The previous track, Tourniquet, Tourniquet. That song. It's actually a sixth track, and Imaginary is actually the seventh track on the album. And this song, Imaginary, didn't really go. In my opinion, didn't really go anywhere. It's okay. It's not the worst song from Evanescence. No, it's actually a pretty good song. It did had a really good metal guitar riffs, and it's pretty good. It's not my favorite song on the album, or not my favorite song from Evanescence. It doesn't really go anywhere, but yes, like, because I know you're gonna be like, are you gonna tell the information about the songs and how are they gonna be written? Yes. Come on, every kids are watching this. They may not know nothing about during the recordings of the songs. Come on, you gotta explain to them. So this song, Imaginary, was released as a promo single in Spain. Imaginary describes the artist's strong desire to live in a dream rather than live in reality. This song uses imagery to describe the dream world and help listeners imagine it too. The title of the song is fitting, as a dream world that is described only exists in a person's mind, and it is imaginary. The song was released for Falling, but was initially released on their first EP in 1998, which I honestly don't have. I may or may not. Well, let's see what happens. So the artist is Dave Fortman, the song's producer, said about the production of the track. During the bridge of Imaginary, there are probably 70 plus people performing on the song at the moment. There's a choir that's been doubled. There is a string orchestra with 22 players doubled. Then you add all of the band members, and it's huge. That section has so much depth to it. There's no purpose to look at it as a live band at that point. And the reason why, because I know you're going to be asking yourself, because if you listen to the song, you're going to obviously have noticed, but because I know you're going to be asking yourself, why does it keep referring to paper flowers in the song? It's basically Amy Lee, the vocalist of the band. Its dream world flowers are made of paper and are not natural. And this song, in my opinion, it's not my first song on the album. Although it's good. It's good, but I don't hate it. I don't love it. I like it. Like I say, there's differences between love and like. Love, if you love something, that means that you have no problems with them. If you like something, you got problems, but you can still like that certain song. And this song is not really my favorite song, I guess because it didn't really grow on me that much. Because don't get me wrong, I listened to this album six times all the way through, and I really loved it. And yes, I really like this song. It's really good, I gotta say. So number 10 for me, it's Taking Over Me. This song, every time I hear this song, it's definitely takes me back from the early 2000s. It's just like something that you would hear in the early 2000s memories, because this song is basically really good. I love the guitar. Like, that's another thing. See, for me, I would classify Evanescence as a lot of people. Some people would debate either Evanescence is a new metal band or a different kind of metal band. But I never consider Evanescence as a new metal band. And I've always considered Evanescence as a symphonic metal. I was about to say new metal again. The reason why I consider Evanescence as a symphonic metal is because they are a metal band, and they have elements from orchestra, something like a classical music that you would hear in something from an oldies. And Amy Lee is a big fan of classical music too herself. She said one of her biggest influence was Amadeus and Danny Elfman. Surprisingly, I didn't even know that. And yeah, that's surprisingly I didn't even know that before. I mean, because I know that when I was listening to album all the way through, I was thinking like to myself, Amy Lee must have been a big fan of the classical music, and she was. So I don't have problems. I love her honest takes. But this song, Taking Over Me, it's a really good song. I prefer that a little more than the Imaginary song. Imaginary is a good song. I don't hate it. This song I actually like a little more. I guess because it had more of a feel of the early 2000s. Because the early 2000s, basically, the late 90s and the early 2000s were famous for nu metal as a genre for certain bands. And for me, I would also not only classify Evanescence as symphonic metal, I would also classify here as alternative, because later on in their catalog, they got a little change. They got more their musics are a little different and have changes over times. And you pretty much want to call basically want to put them an alternative metal band. So the Evanescence would never again scale the heights of their debut album, Fallen album, propelled them into. You hear a track like "Taking Over Me," an album cut. It's clear how they sold 15 million copies of this record. That's crazy. Amy Lee's incredible vocals, which I actually really love Amy Lee's vocals on this song, especially Imaginary Song. I love her vocals, and that's another thing too. I guess another thing why this album was really good, especially because Amy Lee did a really good job on her vocals. Especially there, I know Amy Lee might not have liked that person, but Ben Moody, if you probably don't know him, he's a guitarist from that band. Well, used to be from the band from their debut album Fallen, and I don't really know fully about the story of why she didn't hire Ben Moody back. I guess because they were in a fight and they didn't want to perform another album again. Because I looked at some of the stories from Ben Moody and he had a lot of crazy and mad moments. So I'm guessing he probably didn't like the idea. They probably had a fight and they just dropped out from it. So Amy Lee said about this song, "Taking Over Me," it's about obsession. You're obsessed with someone who you believe is the one for you. I don't know. It's about obsession. Okay, that's fair. Yes, that's all she said. And no, that's not what I said last. And that's not what she said when I said last line. What I said. But this song, it's just something that's, I don't know. This song just sounds like a really good song from the early 2000s, especially because this album came out around my time. So I was here when this album came out. I was around 2 years old. I was 2 years old when this album came out. And Linkin Park's Meteor album, I was still the same age because this album came out 3 years, or 30 years. 3 weeks after the debut album. So, yeah. I was young. I was really young. And I heard those, because my parents had Evanescence's Falling album and Linkin Park's albums, or Hybridary and Meteor albums at the time, and they really loved it, and I actually really loved some of the songs that I grew up with. And Taking Over Me just takes me back to the early 2000s where that type of genre of music was a big thing back then. But this song is actually really good. The Taking Over Me is actually a really good song. And yeah, that's basically and it's basically a mid-tempo. Like what I mean by a mid-tempo means like it's a medium, like it goes like pretty fast or pretty slow. Like same thing. It's like groove metal. Groove metal is where they take thrash metal. Like thrash metal is basically more of a fast well for sometimes can be explanted, but thrash metal is basically one of the genres that mostly goes fast on their songs. But for groove metal is basically takes thrash metal, the elements from that genre, and makes it a little slower, but it can still get you pump up for wherever you hear. Like for example, Pandora. And this song, Taking Over Me, is actually a really good song. And the lyrics are basically about Amy Lee being consumed by another person's obsession with her. So that's basically all you want to know about the song. And yeah, this song I actually prefer this a little more than Imaginary. I guess because of the nostalgic feels from listening to the song. For me, I may be crazy. So the next track, number 9, for me, you may rank this number 3 or number 2 is on your list, but for me, I like this song. I don't love it. And believe me or not, it's not everybody's favorite song, but I believe this is a third single. No, this is actually the fourth single from when it first came out. Oh, fourth sequel, sorry. Fourth single when it came out, and it's Everybody's Full. And this song wasn't my favorite song on the album. I mean, it's not because of how commercially played it was, because I don't even, to tell you the truth, I don't remember this song when it was played at the time. I mean, I remember some of the songs. Like, there's actually 5 songs or 4 songs I remember listening to on the CD where my parents played it all the time. But this song wasn't my favorite song, even though this is a single from back in the days. I actually really liked this song. I don't love it. I actually prefer more of their other singles than this one. I guess because no, it's not because of the subject matter. It's mostly because I guess it's just not really do much for me. And this was actually the final single from their debut album. So the song is about how celebrities fool the common folk into believing they're perfect. They have no shame in lying to everyone, as image is better than actually to them. Amy Lee, he did. She said, she quotes, "I was writing with the voice of an angsty teenager. It's about my frustration with fakeness. It was the late '90s and early 2000s when all these bubblegum pop. Oh, excuse me. No, that's not what she said. Okay, bubblegum pop acts were super popular. I had young siblings, junior high and younger, who looked up to them at the time. It sickened me because I feel like these pop acts were put together like products. I wanted to say, hey, you're not real. I wanted to feel something real. Even if it's not perfect, it's coming from someone's heart and that's more valuable. I honestly really true. And that's a good point too. Because it's just like that today. It's just like that in the modern music today and celebrities they're basically showing up for attention. That's basically what they're doing. Or not only to show up for attention, but they just basically are used as products. Basically, that's still like that today. It will be forever relevant today. And yeah, pretty much it's in this song. It's good. It's not my first song of the album, but it's a really good song. I actually really like the song. Not because the subject matter kind of make me want to rank it down. It's not that. It's mostly because the song, the way it sounds. Don't get me wrong. I like the guitar sounds in this one. And yeah, Amy Lee, another interview that she quotes, "It's interesting to write songs when you're in high school and then have them become your most famous songs because you're stuck singing the stuff you were hung up on when you were in high school when you're 34, and I'm not really hung up about that so much anymore." She also said, quote, "I always seem so preachy about someone else's life. I think there are a lot of ways to look at it. The thing I thought I knew then that I know better now is that you never know what's going on inside anybody, no matter what they seem like, even if they're the bully. If even if they're the popular kid, you never know inside what kind of struggle they might be going through, the pain, maybe suffering, and how their outer image is oftentimes a copying mechanism to that. The song I've actually disconnected from basically, so that's why we haven't played more often. But good, that's pretty good point there. Not because I disagree with her. That's her own thing. She doesn't. If they don't perform it anymore, that's okay. Because they did perform this song at the time too. So yeah. In this song, it does tackle on the. This song tackles on the popular female celebrities. For example, Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears. Which Britney Spears is among one of my least favorite singer. I don't like her at all. Christina. Or not Christina, Britney Spears, I don't like her. I can't stand her. And Christina Aguilera, I mean, I'm not a big fan of none of those female singers, just to tell you the truth. I don't know nothing about her. I know you'd be like, but Anthony, I thought you were a fan of the early 2000s at the time. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm a bigger fan, and I'm more open-minded myself who they are. I mean, I'm not really a big fan of both of them. I'm not a big fan. And, yeah, I don't know. But this song, in my opinion, it's good. It's not my favorite song on the album. And this song, by the way, are a band for a matter. The band Evanescence, they were basically I mean, I can't call them a Christian metal band, but they were most of their songs were banned from Christian church at the time. Because the controversies behind that is where the Christian places they banned most of their songs from there at the time. You can kind of tell because of the letter T at the cross. You can kind of tell from that album cover. You can kind of tell from that. But, yeah. I never really know a lot about why they banned it. I guess it's because of the subject matter. It could be. But, yeah. I guess it's because at the time they really... Especially because Amy Lee told Billboard at the time that she had opposed Evanescence being identified as a Christian band from the beginning. Ben Moody had supported it, whereas she had not. So it could be why It could be why Amy Lee didn't want Ben Moody in the next project. It could be because he supported Christian, but she didn't really support it that much. I mean, she's not. For me, I don't think she's anti-Christian, and I don't think she's an anti-Christianity. I don't think she is. I don't really want to dive. I don't want to go too much into details about the controversies behind the Christian, but we do have to bring it up a little bit because they were the bands. They were the perfect bands, the perfect examples of them. And for people who are classifying her as new metal and Christian bands, for me, I really don't really call them a new metal band because they didn't really have too much rapping or hip hop stuff. For Linkin Park, I definitely classify them as new metal and alternative, especially because of their later sounds too. And I would classify Evanescence as symphonic metal, like I said, because they are a metal band that had more orchestration pieces in it. And especially Amy Lee herself said that she's a big fan of that classical orchestra musics. And who can blame her? So number 8 for me is My Last Breath. So this song, it's a good song. It's a really good song. And wait, wow, I got confused by the 2 tracks. I apologize. So My Last Breath is definitely the early 2000 feels. Okay, not Taking Over Me. Taking Over Me is that soft piano. It just goes da 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 da. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I got confused. Taking Over Me is not the song. Taking Over Me is not what I was talking about. The early 2000 feels. It's My Last Breath. Okay, this is My Last Breath. I like that song a little. I don't get me wrong. I like Everybody's Full, but it's not my favorite track on the album. And Taking Over Me is the song where it goes da da da. I love that guitar riff on that song too. And I got confused by the 2 tracks. I'm an idiot. Wow. But the whole time I was talking about how good this was. But no, My Last Breath is that song. The one that has that early 2000 feels to it. Like something you would hear from Slipknot. Slipknot, they were a perfect example of the new metal band at the time. Because their debut album, Slipknot, and Iowa albums, they both had more of a new metal, stuff like that. I know you're going to be asking me, are you a big fan of Slipknot? I am not a big fan of Slipknot. I do like them. I don't hate them. I don't love them, but I like them. Some of their songs are really good. And yeah, I don't really know I don't know too much about Slipknot too much. I know I'm a bigger fan of their debut album and their second album. That's pretty much I'm a bigger fan of them. I guess because they're more new metal and their later ones have becoming a little more of a alternative because they had different soundings, in my opinion. But My Last Breath is that song that I was talking about. Not Taking Over Me. That's the song where I love the beginning part where it builds up like the piano just do 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 do. I love that opening and you can hear like the classical music in it. It's really good. That's the best part of Taking Over Me. I love that classical music that kicks in. It's really good. And I love that guitar riff too. So My Last Breath is that song I was meant to say that's an early 2000s song. It's like when I said that this song just always reminds me of the good old early 2000s. But yeah, like I said, My Last Breath is one of my. I mean, I can't say it's not one of my favorite songs, but you know what? It's getting there. It's up there with it. It's up there. And I actually really enjoy this song. So My Last Breath is actually a really good song. And just putting out fun facts, if you probably don't know this. But this is, oh crap. This song actually was inspired by the September 11 attacks in New York City, United States. I never actually know that. You probably don't know that. Yeah, so this is a song that basically inspired by the 9/11 attacks in New York City, United States. And yes, this is that album that came out 2 years after that happened. So, yeah. Ben Moody quotes said, "My last breath came from right after the September 11th thing." Wow, that was a weird thing to say. And no, that's not what he said. And sort of from the perspective of someone who was just immediately so whipped away, and sort of lingering emotion and lingering spirit saying goodbye because it was sudden. Amy Lee added, quote, "Yeah, saying goodbye in spirit form like coming to the living loved one." Wow, that's a dark side right there. But I do love this song. I really love this song. It's really good. And I was so wow. So this is the song that really it's this song. Like I said, this always reminds me of the good old early 2000s. For me, I could be just me, but this song. But the other song, what I meant to say, the taking over me, it's that I love that beginning part. Sorry, I got confused. It's not gonna happen again. I'm gonna listen. And the reason why I made that mistake is because I was looking at because I just looked at the tracks and I got confused. Wow. And yes, I was a little sick today, so forgive me, people. Or Evanescence fans out there, don't attack me in the comments down below. It's not always like I'm not always like that in the channel. Come on, we're always. Sometimes I could joke on purpose. Some I could joke by accident. I don't care. That's what I do on this channel. Having fun, okay? I'm having fun talking about Evidences from this album Falling. Come on, I'm having fun with this. And yeah, My Last Breath is actually a really good song. I actually really like this song. It's really good. And I don't know, like I said, this is one of the... so there's not really too much facts about this song. Wait, there is actually. There is actually. My Last Breath. What? Wow, I got confused again. I am an idiot. But yeah, this song is actually a really good song. Oh yeah, My Last Breath. The lyrics of My Last Breath explore emotional survival with the lack of air, a metaphor. That's basically all you need to know about the song. Yes, that's all the facts so far I know about this song. And yeah, this song I actually liked a little more than Everybody's Full. I guess because it's the sounding and feels of this early 2000s. Next up, number 7 is Hello. This might be the closest to a song that's basically this is definitely a closest to a song that we don't have metal elements to it. It's basically more of an easy listening to. And this song actually has a darker development or production. This song is really dark, and this is one of the songs, fun fact, that they didn't want to play this song live because I can understand why, which I'll explain to you, and because I memorized this, especially because I looked at some of the facts and I learned this, but the reason why they made the song Hello is basically Amy Lee's tribute to her sister, who passed away at the age of 3. That's sad. That's really sad. Rest in peace, by the way. And Amy Lee was 6 years old when this happened. She was in school and she heard the sad announcements, and she must have been depressed at the time too. And wow. Oh yeah, her sister name was Bonnie. Rest in peace, Bonnie. And when Amy was 6 years old, she was told that her sister Bonnie, who was 3 years old, has died. Hello, I'm your mind, giving you someone to talk to. Hello. It's her consistence to talking to her to try and calm her down. This song shows how when you are 6, you don't quite understand what is going on, and she didn't quite believe what was happening. What she's saying in the song is what she felt when she found out. And since she was so young, she didn't fully understand the concept of death, which we all been there before too. The song has never been played live, despite consideration back in 2003 by Amy shortly after it was released. Amy Lee quote, "When this happened, my whole perception of life changed. It sounds stupid, but that was when I became an artist. The music is my attempt to heal myself. Things like that can destroy you, or you can get through it." Lee's gray blue eyes filled with tears. Her voice wobbles. She says she won't reveal her sister's name because it won't be too weird to see it in print. Which that's a good point too, especially when you're making a tribute to somebody. That's a great point too. It would upset her mother, she says, and you never know. Fans might try to find her grave. My sister's death taught me how short life can be, and it has driven me to achieve things. I mean, for me, in my opinion, this song, I mean, in my opinion, people say life is short. In my opinion, life is not as short. And I actually honestly don't, I'm going to have to, and yes, I am recording, and I'm going to actually look up what happened to Amy Lee's daughter when this happened. I want to know, I want to see what was the cause of death actually. I never noted that before. Hold on. Yeah, so Amy Lee, that's a dark song right there. That's a dark song. And not dark, but I guess it's more of a tribute, so. Oh, that's I did not know that actually. I don't know. I don't know yet what was the cause of death of Bonnie. Just leave me in the comments down below. What was the cause of death of Amy Lee? I don't on or Bonnie, not Amy Lee. I'm an idiot. God dang it. But yeah, this song is really good. This is the song I actually grew up with, especially because my parents played this song or played this album all the way through a couple times when I was at that age when this album came out. And this song always been stuck with me a lot. I guess because it's like a really good sounding of a piano that's stuck in your head and too, and you're just like da 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 da. Like every time I hear this, the song "Hello," it's just I always hear that tune goes in my head too. Especially like, how nostalgic this song is and how dark it is, especially the darker meaning to this song too. And rest in peace, Bonnie. You're watching this. Number 6 for me is "Haunted." This is definitely a Halloween song to play for your kids. Am I right, guys? But yeah, this is a song that's really dark. Let me guess. I will also classify Evanescence as a gothic metal band. I mean, not really a gothic metal band, but she's up there with it because she's one of the metal bands that has like more of an emotional lyrics in some of the songs on the albums. So for the most part, I will mostly classify her as symphonic metal because they have a lot of orchestra sounds in it too. So, yup. Oh, okay, my bad. So, "Hello" song is actually, Bonnie actually died of an illness at 1987, in 1987 at the age of 3, which is sad too. So she died from an illness. Oh, that's sad. And I don't know fully about what really happened. I'm not a biggest fan of Evanescence. Don't get me wrong. I love this album, but I'm not a biggest fan of Evanescence. Don't hate me, Evanescence fans out there in comments. Don't attack me. Let's all be friendly in the comments down below, alright? The "Haunted" song is actually, I gotta say, it's a really good song. I love the, like a creepy, like I can't say creepy because it's like a kid's, like it's something like elementary school kids would say. It has like a different sounding than the rest of the album. Well, one of the different sounds, and I loved it. It has more of a darker side to this song. It has more of a darker and a different sounding of the whole entire album. And yeah, this song is really good. I gotta say, this song is really good. The "Haunted" is one of my favorite songs on the album. And "Haunted" is based on Ben Moody's short story, which was posted on the Evanescence fan forum, avewar.org, yeah, the website, which I actually don't really know much about the story. Tell me in the comments down below what was it about, because I don't really know fully about it. I'm not a biggest fan. Come on, let's all be nice. But this song is actually really good. I really love the creepiness. Like, I can't say creepy because it's like a little too childish word. I love the terror of the song. You can say terror because it's more like a different word. But "Haunted" was actually this was actually written by Ben Moody, which inspired Amy to write the lyrics. Huh. You probably don't know that. But yeah, I actually really love this song. And I love the orchestra pieces too, because that's another thing Evanescence was also good at. Not only because of the metal instruments that they played, the guitar, drums, and bass, and the vocals too. They were also really good at the orchestra instruments that they played with. It's really cool. I love it. And not really too much to say about the song. It's actually one of my favorite songs on the album. Well, actually, "My Last Breath." Well, number 8 is actually one of my number 8 through number 1 are my favorite songs so far. So, number 9, number 10, and number 11 are not my favorite. I like them. I like those songs. I don't hate them. I actually really like those songs, but I prefer those top 8 tracks more than the other ones. I don't hate them. Like I said, I don't hate them. I like them. I don't love them. And number 5 for me is the first single from that album, and it is. I mean, you may rank this number 1, number 2s, or 3s on your list. But this is actually a second single on this album, or the following album, or the second album. And number 5 for me is "Going Under." This song is so good, and this is an album opener to the debut album, and I really love that. That was a good choice to put that as the debut album. Cool, I love it. And this is actually one of the songs I actually remember listening to at the time, because this is a song that was always stuck in my head when I listened to this song. This is also one of the songs I actually remember growing up. This song and "Hello" song. And the top ones, I remember those songs. Except for one on the top list. But Hello and Going Under are the songs so far I'm telling you are the songs I grew up with. In Amy Lee's own words of Going Under is, she quotes, about coming out of a bad relationship and when you're out of the end of your hope. When you're at the point when you realize something has to change, that you can't go on living in the situation that you're in. It was initially going to be Evanescence's first single on their debut album. However, the release of the Daredevil soundtrack eclipsed the decision, resulting in the release of Bring Me to Life first, which I'll talk about that song later on. And I really, I'll tell you my honest opinion about the Bring Me to Life. And but I'll do say this: I love the song. And the Daredevil movie, I had to say, the Daredevil, the 2003 film, I thought it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad, in my opinion. But I do like some of the songs on that movie. I mean, I guess because I'm a terrible person that just, maybe it's because maybe because I'm an idiot for loving the old metal music. I mean, there are certain bands at the time that I don't like, or the musicians. But the Daredevil, I gotta say, the soundtracks are actually pretty good on it, to tell you the truth. And the music video, yes, I've seen the music video for that one. Oh yeah, also Everybody's Fool, I saw that music video. It's actually really good, really well put together. The Going Under and Everybody's Full, they're both really good music videos too. The music video for the song was directed by Philip Stolze. I think I pronounced that right, I don't know. And it was filmed in May 2003 in Germany. It shows Lee performing on a concert along with the band, while fans are turning into zombies. She designed both the dress she wears in the video. It was ranked number 4 at the list of the 15 scariest music videos ever. I never actually seen the music video when I was younger, but if I did, I will have not only remembrance of how I was terrified, but I will definitely talk about I've never seen the music video. I mean, I saw the short film. I can't say short film because they're not really short film filmmakers. I would say music video, but the music video is very creepy, but it's really creepy and weird, but it's actually really cool. The performing was actually really cool. Evanescence additionally added the song to the set list on their Falling in the Open Door tour. From the quote, for what, God dang, I keep forgetting what I'm trying to say. Quote, Amy Lee said, "You've said that much of Falling, which you co-wrote with Moody. It's about being in an abusive relationship for 3 years. Just listen to the statement. I went through an abusive relationship for 3 years. It's weird to stay in an abusive relationship for so long. I guess sometimes music makes me hang on longer because it makes me feel like I'm getting my feelings out somehow. So I don't actually have to move on after I recorded those songs. I was listening to my own words on Going Under when it goes to the chorus. What I would have loved to hear myself sing is, I'm leaving and I'm not going to put up with this anymore. And I'm not going to put this up anymore. Like, I love this song. This song is so good. This is one of my favorite songs on the album. But instead of the lines, I'm going under, drowning in you, I was thinking to myself, you know what you need to do and you're not doing it? Yeah. And I really love the song. Every time I hear like the song Going Under, I'm just like, I'm going under. Like, I really love the song. It's such a good song. Like, I gotta say, this is a song I actually remember growing up. This is the song that I actually really loved. Especially, because the early 2000s, like the metal music at the time, I grew up with some of the bands, some of the songs that I listened to, I remembered. This is a song I really love. This is one of my favorite songs on that track. And really good opening track for their debut album, too. That was really good, too. In my opinion, I thought it was a really good start to their debut album, too. And number 4 for me is, you may rate this number 1 or number 2 on your list. But this is number 4 for me because I like the other tracks a little more, in my opinion. Number 4 for me is My Immortal. This is the tracks that I really love. Really good piano work by Amy Lee. And I really love oh yeah, by the way, I had to mention this, that song, My Immortal, like I said earlier, this song actually had 2 versions. On the album version, it's actually the 4th track of the album, but this was the piano version, not that all rocking or metal-y version. Not metal. not a medley version. It's more of a piano and easy to listen to. I like that version, but I prefer the band version a lot more because especially the build up to it too. I love it. But this is a song I really love, and yes, I saw the short, and yes, I know you're gonna be mentioning about the music video. Yes, seeing the music video, it's really good too, really good. It's dark. That's basically what Evanescence is really good at. It's not only music videos, but the songs are good. And My Immortal is actually a rock ballad describing the loss of a close relative or a significant other. The song is named My Immortal because it is about memories that seem not to be able to die. The music video is shot in all black and white. It shows Amy, Ben, and the band separately, never together in one shot. Ironically, the video was shot 2 weeks before Ben Moody left in the band. Oh, that's sad. In an interview with Roxanne, Amy admitted, quote, "It's almost like the director knew what was going to happen, but he can't have known. It's just one of those fate things." Well, that's insane. Well, that could be why Ben Moody was far away. That could be. Yeah, and I actually honestly agree. The director kind of knew this was going to happen too. I guess because Ben Moody probably told the director that what was going to happen. I guess that's why I didn't want to make it look like that. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the stories behind it. But the video shows Amy never touching the ground as a metaphor for being dead and unable to connect with the physical world. This connects with the theme of the song, which is obviously about the inability to reach out to a loved one that has gone. And Amy Lee quotes, "I hate with this being the version recorded on the Origin and re-released on Falling with added strings, the orchestra version, what I said about the 4-track. Amy Lee said that she actually hates that version. She totally hates it. It is an old demo from before when we were even signed. Every time I hear it, it gets under my skin. But that's the version most people play. I mean, I actually don't hate this track. I don't hate this version. I mean, I'm not saying she's wrong on this or she's terrible. I mean, that's her opinion. I respect her opinion. And I know Amy Lee's probably watching this video. I know she's probably gonna not like me or what I'm gonna say. Look, don't hate me. Don't hate me, Amy Lee. I like this version, but it's not my favorite version. I mean, if you're talking about the added strings, like the 4th-track version, if you're hating it, that's okay. I mean, that's your opinion. That's honestly your opinion. I like that version. I mean, for me, I like it. I guess it's more of a classical stuff. But for the band version, I liked it a little more because I guess it's more of a rockers. It could be. Maybe it's because it's for rockers for the most part. When the band shot in the video for the song, Amy Lee quotes told the MTV News, "The label was stuck on the demo and wouldn't let us use the version we really wanted. Lee said, we fought back and forth about it and finally we gave in. But we were all so angry about it. Not only is Lee unhappy with her vocals, she dislikes just about everything about the demo version. It's not even a real piano. She groaned and the sound quality is bad because we had to break into the studio to record it late at night when no one was around because we couldn't afford a real session." Wow, they must have had troubled times. They must have had a troubled times when they were recording this song. Or, yeah, they were recording for the song. And, yeah, the version of My Immortal that Emily again quotes, the version of My Immortal that I hear the most in life is so old. It's a demo vocal, MIDI piano. Not even a real piano. And me singing it at age 17. Holy cow. You were younger. She was younger than me. At the radio station, my dad would let us use when they finished with it late at night. I hate that recording. Yes, it's sweet because I'm a kid just experimenting and trying to find my voice. Well, that's her thing. That's okay. If she doesn't like it, that's okay. I'm not saying she's wrong or correct. That's okay with her. I mean, I never listened to the original, like the Origin version. I never listened to it. I listened to the 4-track on the album and the hit track. I love that version more. The code Morse in the end of the song. I don't even know. The code was believed to be a Morse code, but it turned out to be a false information. Ben Moody explained it by quotes. It's actually a present pattern on keyboard synthesizers that we were using on that song, and you substate the note long enough, it trails off into its beeping that sounds a lot like Morse code. And we thought that it sounded really cool, so we left it. So it's there by accident, to be perfectly honest with you. Oh, I never realized that actually. You probably don't know that. That's okay. I never know that too. Well, I mean, I kind of actually noticed that too, because if you listen to the band version, like the hit track on the album, the My Immortal song, if you listen to it, you may have noticed the sound of the beeping noises or the chords Morse. It was there. They used it. They used the code Morse. I never noticed that before. I thought it was just the instruments they were playing, but so it was just basically a pattern on the keyboard synthesizer. They were using it for a song, and it makes it more of a beeping, which it sounded really cool. Which I agree with. I agree with Ben Moody. It did sound pretty cool. I mean, not because of the time or when it came out. No, I think it still sounds pretty cool at the time too. I think for me, or not think, but in my opinion, I believe this song actually sounds pretty cool. Especially today, it sounds pretty cool. In my opinion, I'm with him there, Ben Moody. I agree. And yes, okay. So this one was added strings version. So the one with the added strings wasn't my favorite version. Although the band version I really loved a lot. And yep, this is easily one of my favorite songs on the album. This is number 4 for me, and I prefer the 3 tracks on the top one a little. I mean, I can't prefer them, but now we are on the top 3 list. Number 3 for me, I really love the song. Even the first listeners, I really love that version, and it's the Tourniquet. This song, oh my god, it's so good. It's catchy. And this is actually a song I wanted to practice on the guitar, but I don't have the strings yet. I mean, not the strings, but the high E string. I have it, but I always forget to add it on. But this is a song I want to practice, but I really love this song. Oh my god, it's catchy, and my gosh, this is actually to tell you the truth, this song was actually hard for me. Which number should I choose it? Should I choose this under My Immortal, or should I put this after? But for my final decision, I would put this after it because of My Immortal was a little more commercially. I don't have problems with the My Immortal song. I really love that song. And the music video, of course. The tourniquets are used to cut off blood supply to certain limbs. Often most used when a limb has been severed from the body. The song, however, was originally written by Rocky Gray for his band Soul Embrace and was then called My Tourniquet. It was then reworked by the entire Evanescence band and released as Tourniquet. Lyrically, it's written from a Christianity standing point about suicide. It's from the perspective of someone who has just committed suicide, and it's just about the controversy in Christianity. That if you commit suicide, will you go to heaven or hell? And no, sorry. If all sins are forgiven after accepting Christ, why would there be an exception? Good question. Immediately quotes about the song. A lot of our songs are written in a way that you could take them to mean several different things. That one was written by our drummer Rocky Gray, who was in a Christian death metal band before he joined us. He told me that it is coming from a Christian standpoint, but it's about suicide. It's from the perspective of someone who has just committed suicide, and it's about the controversy in Christianity that if you commit suicide, well, you go either to heaven and heck, which I already said that. That's basically the quote she said. She then discusses how she and the band reworked the song. She quotes, "That is actually Rocky's song. It's a cover," which I actually didn't know that actually. Rocky, our drummer, was in another band in Little Rock called Soul Embrace. It's like a Christian metal band, and he played guitar and did vocals. It was this awesome song, but it's totally different now. We were friends with Rocky, and he used to play the drums for us. It was a weird song, and really cool. And Ben was just like, "Hey, we'll just sort of change this and do it for a show." So we took the song and I wrote a melody for it. The lyrics are basically the same, but I wrote a whole other second verse, and the melody pretty much changed the format. It just has this great groove, and we played it from then on. And then we were just like, "Hey, let's just put it on the album. That's a good point. That's a really good point, actually. I really love this song. I really love the song. It's so catchy. And I loved Amy Lee's vocals on this song. And I love that the ending got me goosebumps, I swear. The ending, because the ending had like an orchestra at the end of the song. Oh my god, it got me goosebumps right there at the end. It was so good. And like I said about what I said later at the beginning, where imaginary song, this, because that's another thing I loved about albums. That's why you had to buy either albums, vinyls, or cassette tapes, because those is like listen to like an experience all the way through. Because when you listen to it online, it interrupts you. It interrupts you of going through. So that's why you always want to buy albums or vinyls, cassette tapes. Buy everything, because it feels like you're going through an experience throughout the whole entire album. Because when you when you listen to it online, it interrupts you while listening to it. Interrupts you big time. And this is a cover, which I actually didn't know that. And for me, I never listened to the cover. I listened to the Evanescence version. Although I have to admit it, I'm not a big fan of covers, especially because, I mean, it depends on what they thought about the original too. They did like the original. That's cool. Because I mostly love originals a lot more than their covers versions. I mean, for sometimes. Some I like, some I don't like. Oh yeah, speaking of covers, you probably saw this on my post, that I actually went to a 1964 tribute band, which I'll talk about it at the end of the video. And yeah, I went to that concert. It's more of a tribute band, but they did it correct. It was actually the best tribute I've ever seen. It will always be. But I'll talk about it after I get to rank the 2 tracks left. So number 2 for me, and you may rank this number 1 on your list, but this is for me number 2. And it is Bring Me to Life. This is the song that I really love the song. And this is a single from, this is definitely the first single on the album. And I really love the song. And this is, oh yeah, by the way, what I was talking about earlier, when I talked about early, that this is the song Bring Me to Life that was on the Daredevil film. I've seen the film one time and it was okay. I didn't like the film, especially because of how dated it was. But it was okay. It's not, I mean, it's a bad film. It's a bad movie. It did have a good soundtrack, I guess, admit that. It has a good soundtrack in it. And the Daredevil, the album had really good soundtracks for it. And I really loved, especially there was a music video for the Bring Me to Life, and I really loved the song, the music video. Pretty much everything from the song. And this song is inspired from the design to make the most out of life. And it speaks from the heart too, and I loved it. And Amy Lee and Ben Moody discussed in an interview with AOL sessions. And hold on. So Bring Me to Life is actually inspired by Amy Lee's husband, as she said in an interview. I wrote it about my husband when we first met. We were not dating or anything, and we didn't actually begin to date until years later. That first part, the lyrics, how can you see into my eyes like open doors, leading you down into my core, where I've become so numb. Dun, dun. Like, every time, I'm sorry if I'm talking and sounding like I'm about to sing, but it's so good, the song is so good, I want to sing too. I was in a really bad place, relationally, and going through a really hard time. I didn't know Josh very well. He was kind of a friend of a friend. He sat across from me when we went to reserve a table, and he just looked me dead in the eye and said, "Are you happy?" And it shocked my heart, and I looked down and just started making up excuses. I choked on my words because I felt like I was completely outwardly acting normal, but inside in a lot of turmoil, and I felt like he could just see straight into my soul. That inspired the whole song. Years later, I told him it was about him, and the rest in history. That's an interesting development there, Amy Lee. And yeah. So how did Evanescence end up working with Paul from 12 Stones? Amy Lee, actually, if you probably don't know who's Paul from 12 Stones, I'm not a big fan of 12 Stones, or not a big fan of him either. But she actually said that she didn't want to add Paul's vocals on 12 Stones in the original development. She didn't want to add any vocals from Paul from 12 Stones. But I guess because of what was the company's name? Wind Up. The company Wind Up, they just wanted to add it there for somehow. Or Sony. Could be just anything. But yeah, no, actually Wind Up. Okay, it's Wind Up. So Emily said, quote, Fox was looking for a female voice for the Elektra character in Daredevil, and they heard a version of the song we did with a rap in it that, though it wasn't Paul, they liked it because it fit the scene, which cut back and forth between Elektra and Daredevil, Elektra movie was okay, Daredevil was alright. Daredevil has some okay moments. I actually prefer Daredevil a little more than Elektra movie because Daredevil had a little funny, goofy moments, which is one of those entertainingly bad films for me. Or you could say basically a cult following, basically. And we've been friends with Paul for a while, but we also talked to a lot of other well-known vocalists who wanted to do it. Either their label or manager would shut it down at the last minute and say, this is going nowhere. I'm laughing at that now. Paul got off the plane, sang the part, and got back on the plane and flew back to tour and played that night. Huh, that's interesting. And NPR ranked this as the number 88 greatest song by a female or non-binary artist in the 21st century, saying, in the shadow of 9/11, American masculinity was in crisis, and the music industry seemed keen to cash in on the resulting anxiety by assembling legions of male rap rock malcontents. Meanwhile, singer-songwriter Amy released sketches of gothic metal, which, with classical foundations, become Evanescence's 2003 debut, Fallen. Like I said, I would classify it as symphonic metal. But while shopping the band around for radio play, Wind Up Records had Ed Bettery, I can't pronounce his last name, was allegedly told radio stations wouldn't play a chick in a piano. So Evanescence regularly agreed to add male rap vocals to its lead single, Bring Me to Life. Paul McCoy, frontman of 12 Stones, which is a band I'm not a big fan of, or don't know nothing about them, came in to insult Chauvinistic rock listeners from Lee's operatic subjectivity. The song would peak at number 5 on Billboard Hot 100, and earn a Grammy for Best Hard Rock Performance in 2003. Yet its resulting acclaim was double-edged sword for Lee. I've never tried to abandon my femininity, but I remember having many talks with the Suits about that being a negative thing. Lee would later ditch the rap and assert her own version of the song in her latest album, which I'm not gonna really say or talk too much about it, but the latest one is basically like it's in it. Let's say it's a remix album, but I know you're gonna be like, but it's just I know you're gonna go, but it's an album made by them. But I mean, it's more of a remix album. That's basically what Amy Lee wanted to in that version. Although I did like that version, it's okay. I prefer the band version a little more. I guess especially because I'm more metal-y. Especially because I really love metal songs a lot. And I am open-minded to other different types of that genre of metal. Symphonic metal, thrash metal, nu metal, and any types of metal that comes. I mean, not any. Well, I don't know a lot. I don't know all metal genres, but I know a bunch of them. So that's basically all you want to know about Bring Me to Life song. This is basically one of the songs that are basically the well-known from Evanescence band. I do remember this song listening to growing up, and I really love the song. I remember listening to the song the first time, or well, I think it was the second time or third time. When I was young and when this album came out, I was just dancing. I was just loving. I was just getting it. I was getting it too. I really love that song. Number 1 for me, you may rate this a little lower. You may put this at your 10s or in the middle of your least favorites. But for me, it's always one of my favorites. I mean, it's not always my favorite, but the first listen, it was okay. But the more I listened to it, the more I loved it. And it's the song called Whisper. This is a song that's really different, too. And the song, I really love the chorus. I do love the orchestra. And Whisper has gone through a lot of changes throughout its 7 release versions. Here it serves as the album closer for Fallen album. And later on was a hidden track of My Immortal, which they added to it. And I got the, My Immortal version, so yeah. In this version released on the band's debut album, there's a choir singing Servatisa Preglepum. And repeats that at the end, which is roughly translated from Latin as "Save us from danger, save us from evil." Oh, that's pretty dark. And in an interview, Amy Lee said, quote, "Whisper is something that we still play on stage a lot, and I love playing it. It's a great live song, but lyrically, it doesn't hold a ton of meaning for me anymore because I'm not really at a very dark place in my life at all right now. I'm at a pretty positive place, so unless I'm really angry, I don't totally relate to Whisper." I mean, she's not really wrong, but I can relate to it kind of. But yeah, I gotta say this is actually my number one favorite song on the album. I guess it's because I love the orchestra, especially the ending got me goosebumps. I really love the ending, although the ending sounds a little weird. You don't know what it's saying, but the ending is actually really good in my opinion. I thought the ending was really good. Yeah, that's basically all I want to rank. Do you agree with my list? What is, if you had to rank your least favorite to favorite? And if you had to rank your least favorite to favorite, by the way, Whisper features the Millennium Choir singing in Latin against muted guitars, but the choir is credited in the booklet by each individual vocalist rather than by the choir's official name. I guess because they didn't want to shout out. I guess because they didn't really want to shout out to a lot of people because they could come at them too. But yeah, that's all I had to say so far. So that's all what I had to say. Do you agree with my list? What is your what would you rank your least favorite to favorite on Evanescence's Falling album? And just because I know everybody's gonna be like, because don't fight in the comments down below. No fighting in the comments down below if you rank least favorite to favorite. I mean, it didn't happen to me, but just in case that happens. So, oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to show you what the album looks like. Sorry if you see like lines or scratch. My parents had this album a long time. They had this when it first came out, especially because of the singles at the time. Because they bought this album, especially because on the commercials they played the songs on this album on commercials, and they loved it, and they bought this album for a long time, and I still have this to this very day, and it still works. Oh my god, surprisingly, right? I mean, some doesn't really work well, but some does work. Some works, some doesn't work. But yeah, this is, so, like, in this part, I'm just going to show you what the the CD looks like. That's it for the video, and pretty much what I wrapped up about this, the album. This is the left side of this album, and let me put it on focus just in case you're seeing this blindly. And this is what it looks like if you turn it around that side. Wind Up, Evanescence's Falling album. And yeah. And this is the back cover. This is the back cover. Oh, so glad I didn't drop the camera again. Just like my previous, or just like that other video that I did. And yeah, this is the back cover. And to tell you the truth, I don't know the other half of the band. I mean, besides the drummer and the guitarist, Ben Moody and Amy Lee, especially the drummer. I don't really know the bassist's name, but he may actually be the most underrated bassist of all times. He is the most underrated, in my opinion. And those are the tracks and evidences.com, pretty much, the website. Produced and mixed by David Fortman. Except track 2, mixed by Jay Baumgartner. I can't pronounce his last name. So yeah, this is what it looks like when you open it up. And this is what it looks like. Put it on focus just in case. And yes, this is the CD. And when you open it up, you get a plain, well, I mean not plain, but like a color. Like something like, I don't know. Don't really know how to call it. So I'm going to show you the CD of what it looks like. This is the back cover of this, the album cover. With all the names on there. And then, pretty much. So this is the first page. It has lyrics to the songs. And the right side is basically credited. Is like who did this or who performed these tracks on the whole album, to tell you the truth. And can't really see the left side too much especially because I turned on brightness because I did a testing video on this, which I didn't upload it in, but I was testing and it was so I did it without a light and it was horrible because when I did it without the lights and you barely even can't see me. And no, I didn't post that one because it looks horrible. I mean, not horrible, but like it's so embarrassing. But yeah, this is the second page. They just look so hippie. Or it just look something. But in the left corner is basically evidence which to express most appreciation to the following. This is their appreciation to the following, what their name shows. Yep. And this is the final page. Surprisingly, it's the final page. I'm not even joking. This is the final page. I love the S. I love the letter right there. Just right there. I love it. It looks like a lowercase e a little bit. Okay. And it also shows you the company and the company that, or not company, but like the producer, stuff like that, shows you that, and that's it. I'm not joking. That's all I see in this page. That's all. Oh, almost dropped my CD again. Yeah, that's all you had to see. Well, I mean, this is the album summary. So yeah, I know you may notice there's a little cracks because my parents had this for years, especially when it first came out too. So yeah, I do it. So my whole entire opinion about this album, I really love this album. I have no complaints about the songs. I really love them. Although I said about the Imaginary and there's other songs that are my least favorite, I don't hate them. I like them, but overall, I will give this album a 9 out of 10. I would give it a 9 out of 10 or 9.2 out of 10. Because this song, because the song kind of took me a little longer especially to 5 through 11. I mean, not for 5 through 11. There's actually 1, 2, 5 songs on this album actually got me more, because 5 songs on this album, actually, I remember those songs when they played it on the radio too, because of how much they're not only because of the hits, but mostly because from the albums that my parents has been playing this album for a long time too. The songs that I grew up listening to was Going Under, Bring Me to Life, My Immortal, the band version a lot more than the piano version. Which I don't have problems with the strings version. I like the 12 strings version too. It's not a better version. I like the band version a little more because it has more of a medley too. And Tourniquet, I mentioned that before. And I don't think I mentioned it. It was one of the songs I grew up with. This is one of the songs, Tourniquet and Hello Song. Those are the songs that I grew up with. And yeah, that's 5 of the songs on this album. Those are the songs I remember back then when they listened to this album a lot. And I really love those songs. I really love them. So I will basically give this album a 9 out of 10, possibly. A 9 out of 10, because the songs are really good on this album. They're really good. And, yeah. If you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your friends and family. And share this video, and also, or you know what? Let's try it again. If you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Share this video for all of you Evanescence fans who are Evanescence fans and want to watch a track-by-track ranking and the fun facts about them. Share it to your friends or share it to your family who are a big fan or one of the big fans of Evanescence. That's what I'm going to say for now on. If I do a ranking track-by-track or do an album review of the albums or artists or like an artist that's albums, like their solo career or the bands. That's all I'm gonna say for now on. And my social media are in the description to follow me there. Oh yeah, by the way, fun. Oh yeah, I wanted to tell you about the 1964 tributes. So we went there 2 days ago, we went to a concert which was called 1964 tribute, and I look at the Rolling Stone, and it said to be one of the best tributes that we've ever gotten from the Beatles. So we went there. I mean, my parents wanted to go there, not because they loved not only because they loved the Beatles, but they wanted to go there for me. They wanted to take me there to a tribute, and that was a really good present for me too, especially because I really love the Beatles too. They're easily my number one favorite band of all times, especially because they had a lot of changes throughout their catalog before the breakup, and that tribute right there was really good. The tribute was really good. It was just like the Beatles. It was just like going in that era, 1964. It was, I mean, although there were some songs that were actually performed after 1964, it was one of the songs that was from 1965, 1966. That's it, pretty much. And yeah, that's all you need to know. They dressed up like the Beatles. They have the hair like the Beatles. They even talk like the Beatles with their UK British accents. I loved it. That was actually the best tribute I've ever seen. That might actually be, and especially we went there, and I actually talked with people who are Beatles fans too. Most of them are elders, but there was one of them that had kids of the younger generation, which is good, and yeah, so we can show younger generations of how awesome the Beatles are. And yeah, I talk, and some Beatles fans talk to me, and I talk to them about how much I love the Beatles too, because I was wearing that shirt, the Beatles Such Personal High School Band shirt that I wear in the videos. That's the shirt I was wearing to that 1964 the tribute. I went there. Oh my god, it was just like going to 1964. It was just like going to that time where it came out. This tribute, I might have to say this. I agree with the Rolling Stones saying that this is the best tribute band. I agree with the Rolling Stones. Well, the Rolling Stones, I really agree with what they say about the songs and the albums. They ranked it. I agree and understand, and yeah, that tribute was really good too, and I did have some videos recorded too on the social media. Follow me on social media so you can see what the videos look like. So yeah, really good tribute video, the tribute concert, and not like a tour, because the concert was inside. It wasn't outside like most tours are. But it wasn't a concert, like it was inside. It was more of a 1964 feel towards it too. I could be. And this is actually that was actually the best, and this will be the only one that is actually a great tribute. They did everything right from the Beatles era so far. I got, except for me, there was a tiny complaint I had when they were performing that song. I should have known better. Their harmonica part in the song from A Hard Day's Night, their third album they made from the Beatles, their harmonica part was a little off, because I mean it is kind of hard to tribute to a band too, but the harmonica part, like the chorus of the harmonica, was a little off, because it was a little off for me, because the original song goes, because the harmonica is basically like the like, it was a little. I mean, because it wasn't off, because it was like like it was a little off the harmonica, because John Lennon, he plays the harmonica. I mean, I'm not talking about the video. I'm talking about the tribute that I went to. The harmonica was a little off, but it was good. It was good. At least they still sing it like it too. But yeah, that's all I have to wrap it up about my experience in 1964 the tribute, and yeah, that's all I have to say. I will see you in the next video. And my social media description down below, so you can go there and follow the videos that I posted on that tribute band. And I'll see you in the next video. Change the world. Peace and love.